Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Ken Birdsall here at Spitzer Chevrolet in Amherst, Ohio. I'm going to show you the new 2020 Traverse. This thing is sweet. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on those bell notifications so you are notified about future videos. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you live in Northeast Ohio, love to help you find your next car. Give me a call at 440-988-4444. Stick around, this thing is sweet. Alright, so we are looking again at a 2020 Chevrolet Traverse. This is the largest crossover SUV that Chevrolet has to offer, and really that GM has to offer. It is larger than the Acadia, it is larger than the Buick Enclave as well, and it's surprisingly actually really close in size to the Tahoe. A little bit on that in a second. I'll show you guys some of the differences in dimensions and size as well that I really think you don't have to spend all the extra money on a Tahoe, and I think you'll really love the Traverse depending on what your needs are. So again, this is 2020. This is the LS, so it is the base level entry. There is technically an L trim. Good luck trying to find those. The only real difference on that is they don't get tinted rear windows, whereas these are tinted on this LS. This is all-wheel drive. You do have the option of a front-wheel drive. If you do want to go that way, it does have the 3.6 liter V6 engine paired to the 9-speed automatic transmission. We'll go over more of that later as well. We're just going to kind of go over what's standard and go from there. So, all right, starting out at the front here, one change that's gone away from last year is we don't have those active arrow shutters inside anymore. I'm not really sure why GM got rid of those. I think they were great ideas, but for whatever reason, they're gone. Standard on the LS is a LED daytime running lamps as well as high intensity discharge headlamps. Down below you'll see the spot where fog lamps would go. If you go to an LT is where you'll get those features as well. But really nice looking front end. An LS is really known, if you're walking on the lot, most likely if you see black mirror caps, that is an LS. As well as up top, there are no side roof rails. So if you go to an LT, you'll get those as well, and your mirror caps will be body color with the integrated turn signal in them. So we look at standard is 18-inch wheels. So really nice. You have a lot of options for upgrades on those, red line editions. I do have a video that shows you just what's different between 2019 and 2020. Some minor changes going on there, but you might want to check those out. And I'll put that link in here for you guys as well. And you can also look at my channel. I've got lots of other Traverses on there. Got a nice 3 LTs. I think I've got some High Countries and Premiers as well in there. Really nice Traverse badging right down the side. Your door handles, you notice it's on all 4, not just on the front like on some models, but you have that passive entry. That's a standard feature. You have push button, so it's keyless entry, keyless open and keyless start. It all runs off of the key fob, which I'm going to see if I can show you guys here. There we go. Looks like that. So you have lock, unlock, and you can sound the horn. We do have on the inside, we'll go, whoop, wrong side. There you go. Push that button in and it'll slide out an actual key. So if you do get locked out on the driver's side door, you can pop off this mirror or this little cap here, and there's an actual key slot so you can get in. But with that key fob anywhere near me, within about 3 feet of the door, you can lock and unlock just by tapping that. So on the passenger side, the first tap will unlock all doors. On the driver's side, first tap unlocks just the driver's side door. Good safety feature there. And these mirrors are heated. Your outside mirrors are nice and heated. So we're gonna go look in the inside. On the LS, you can only get 8 passenger, which means you have 2 to the front, 3 to the second row, and then you have your 3 to the third row as well. Let you guys check that out with some floor mats in there. All right, as we check out these second row seats, these do fold down. I believe it's on the LT where you have the easy access, where this will actually, the whole chair will slide forward a little easier. But you pull this lever, and I think those mats kind of got a little stuck there, but those will fold down. 60-40 split on that second row. And makes it a little easier to get in. These seats do slide forward and back as well. And again, pardon those mats there. But this is a second row. Tri-zone climate control. I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. But they'll have their own controls down here, as well as 2 USB charging ports. So if the kids got tablets or anything like that, they can charge those in the back on a long trip. You do notice those all-weather floor liners. Those are like WeatherTech, and that is an upgraded package here. I'll show you the window sticker in just a second. All right, coming around to the back, you have LED tail lamps as the standard feature. Backup camera as a standard feature. That is right underneath the bow tie right there. And dual outlet exhaust is a standard feature, which is really cool. If you do have the trailer hitch, this cover actually comes off, and you can put in your ball and slide there. The release for the hatch is underneath of there. This one is a manual lift gate. If you go to the LT with the convenience package, you can get that power lift gate as well. These back seats are manual folding, so you would pull this down, which flips the headrest down like that, and then you can push them forward, and those are 60-40 split as well. Again, this has all-weather protection with those hard rubber mats. If you go all the way up to like a high country, in this spot you'll see where you can do power folding on those third row seats. And before I actually forget, I'll show you underneath. Huge cargo area. You can put a lot of groceries in there, keep them well protected from heat and all that stuff. All right, and let's go down the driver's side. This does take regular unleaded gas, so push release, and then it is capless fueling as a standard feature as well. Let's see, not sure if you guys can do this. I will put in the comments down below the VIN and MSRP if you can't pick out what that package is, that floor liner package, and then the actual MSRP is $36,490. That's before rebates and discounts. Your safety ratings and fuel economy 25 highway and 17 city. And then we'll check out, I mean, it's really nice. Even on an LS, it's kind of a leatherette in the door with some nice stitching. So it's actually, for the base entry level vehicle, this is really, really nice. Let you get a look at the dash here before we turn everything on and check it out up front. I almost forgot to mention here, so this is the 8 passenger, so you have 3, 6, 7, 8. If you go to the LT, one step up, along with some of those other things I mentioned earlier, you're going to have captain's chairs here, so you have the split in the middle. You wouldn't have those seats there. You can get this 8 passenger configuration on the 1LT and 3LT as well. The 3LT is going to give you leather interior. The 1LT will stay cloth like this. But just so you know, you do have that option to go to a 7-passenger or to go up in trim and still keep the 8-passenger so you have more seating. All right, coming into the driver's seat here, again, you have that same leatherette with the nice brown stitching in there too. Power locks, windows, and mirrors. A couple little cubbies as well. Get a drink down in there too. Coming over again, this is a manual adjusting seat. Moving up to the LT is where you start getting the options for getting power adjusting seat. But this one here, if you push down, it'll actually lower the seat or raise it up, and it will, it's kind of like a pump action thing there. And then you have, that one does your backrest, and under there, all the way over on the side there, that one moves you forwards and backwards as well. This one here kind of pops in and out, and that adjusts your instrument panel brightness and then your automatic light control. I always recommend keep those on auto unless for some reason you need to turn them on, but don't forget to turn them off. On your steering wheel, this is tilt and telescopic. That is a standard feature. And then you have your radio controls. You have like your favorites, your presets on your radio. You can cycle through them right there. On the other side, you do volume control up and down there, cruise control, and Bluetooth hands-free. And these, I'll show you in here in just a second. We're going to control your driver information center there. All right, so for the LS, you get the 3.5-inch monochromatic driver information center. On the LT is where you start getting the 4.2-inch color driver information center, which is a little bit easier to read with speed. But even still, again, all your controls are here. You still cycle through your tripometers, fuel range, fuel speed, average fuel economy. If I go to vehicle, you'll be able to see oil life, tire pressure, air filter. And then eco, you can start tracking some of your driving habits to make sure you're driving a little bit better and way they get the best fuel economy. I do want to point out it does have auto stop. That is not overrideable on the Traverse, which is really, really surprising that they haven't added that. Maybe next year. You have your turn signals there and high beams, and your wipers, including rear wipers behind you. To start it up, I know it already started it for you, but you just hold in the brake. As long as the key fob is inside of the Traverse, it'll do this. You hold in the brake and tap that button to start it, and then just tap that button when you go to turn it off. You will have rear seat reminder if you have opened the doors within 10 minutes of departure. When you go to put it in park, it'll actually remind you, hey, check the back seat. Maybe it's a kid, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's groceries. You definitely, when it's 100 degrees out, you don't want to leave a gallon of milk back there. Maybe it's a laptop, whatever it is. Standard for the LS, you get the 7-inch MyLink radio. On the LT, I believe it's with the convenience package, is where you get the 8-inch MyLink radio, and it does have the sliding locking compartment behind the screen. Not on this one, though. I do want to point out it does have Infotainment System 3 as a standard feature, which includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You do not get Sirius XM, though you do have AM, FM, and you can play your music through Bluetooth. This little home button here will take you back to this screen anytime. You can scroll over, so if you have a phone paired off and a radio station, it'll show you both. It's kind of two home screens that you can go back and forth. But your presets are right across the top. We'll check out. It does have the. Whoops. Go back. Don't want to go back. Wi-Fi hotspot. You have a 4G LTE that runs through AT&T right now, and you can connect up to 7 different devices up to 50 feet away from the Traverse. Great for those long road trips with the kids. Again, let them plug into those USB ports in the back and watch Netflix or whatever on their whole drive. Your climate control, again, this is on, off, or your rear. If you want to actually control what's going on in the back, you can lock this so that they can't play with it in the back, but that you can control with it all up front. And they have a rear climate button too as well. I'm going to actually slide here, switch this into reverse so you can check out the backup camera. You can turn on and off those guidelines, turn the steering wheel, and guidelines turn as well. Alright, we're going to slide down here. Again, you do have tri-zone climate control, so it's not just front and back, but it's also side to side. As you can see, I could adjust this one warmer and have that one cooler. And you can hit that sync button and it'll bring it back to the driver's side settings. Your fan, if you see these lights, turning the fan down, turning the fan up. Alright, USB ports and auxiliary down below, another 12 volt outlet. So look at this shift knob here. So kind of got a leatherette around it here. You do have your plus and minus on top of the shifter. So if you shift down into L, then you can go through those gears manually. And then you have your cup holders. And standard is the traction mode select. So you can do this on the fly. You don't have to be in park. So you have mountain mode, better for towing, all-wheel drive, two-wheel drive is essentially, that's the front wheel drive. And when it says by 4, you notice the all-wheel drive lights up. So you can do that. And also shows up on your driver information center up top. And so you can do that on the fly, your traction control there, and your electronic park brake. Center armrest, again, has that leatherette with that stitching, just like on the door, side doors there. You have a little tray down in below. Woo! Even light in there too. That's a really good idea. Oops. For at night. Alright, you got your glove box up there. We go up here, you got your OnStar settings, light controls, really bright LEDs there. Whoop, there we are. And those are illuminated for driver and passenger as well. And that's pretty much it for the inside of here. I'm going to show you guys the engine, and then I promise I will show you what's the difference between here and the Tahoe. Alright, so the standard engine is a 3.6 liter V6 engine, again paired to the 9-speed automatic transmission. It is not a turbo, so you have that raw power, 310 horsepower to be exact, and 266 pound-foot of torque. It can pull up to 5,000 pounds. It does require the trailering equipment package, which has the heavy-duty cooler as and I believe that has to be on the all-wheel drive as well, but I know you have to have at least the trailering equipment package to be able to tow that. So that's engine, transmission, all good stuff under the hood. Alright, so I promised I was going to show you guys the differences between a Tahoe and Traverse as far as size-wise. Obviously, there's some feature differences, and things like on a Tahoe, you're going to have the V8. On a Traverse, you can only get a V6. And this is a unibody frame versus a body-on frame, which is more like a truck ride for a Tahoe or Suburban. But if you don't want a big boat like a Suburban, this Traverse is a really good option. I really encourage you to think about that. For example, the Traverse is 204.3 inches length. That's nose to tail right there. The Tahoe is 204. So Traverse is actually 0.3 inches longer. All right, looking at the width, the Traverse 78.6 inches. The Tahoe is 80.5 inches. So it's only a couple inches wider. That's not like going to be notable difference on a Tahoe, especially the center console is really going to take up any of that extra room that you might have had. So only less than 2 inches difference on width. Talking about height, this is where the Tahoe gets the Traverse. The height is 70.7 on the Traverse. The Tahoe is 74.4, so almost 4 inches taller for the Traverse or for the Tahoe. And again, that's because it's a body-on-frame design, and so it's naturally going to sit up a little bit higher, especially with that V8. Might want to be more like a truck feel. If you like the truck feel, the Tahoe is better. But if you're not really that big a fan of it, Traverse is really where it's at. And the last thing is really this wheelbase. This one really surprised me. I did not see this coming, so I pulled them both up. So the wheelbase, which is basically axle to axle here, is 120.9 inches on the Traverse, and the Tahoe is only 116. So it has it by almost 5 inches, the Traverse is better. What does that mean to you? That means this is going to be a smoother ride. It doesn't ride like a truck. It has a longer wheelbase, which is just smoother, better for those long road trips. So think about that too when you're driving both. I encourage you to do that, but I think you might like the ride of the Traverse better. All right, so those are outside dimensions, but really inside is really where it counts. That's where you're going to be spending the time. That's where you're going to be sitting crammed in next to everybody, and this is really where it counts. Behind this third row, there's 23 cubic feet. There's with the third row up, nothing else in the back here. From top all the way around here, 23 cubic feet. On the Tahoe, it's only 15.3. Only 15.3. Very, very, very surprising there. We move to with the third row down, so behind the second row, Traverse still has the Tahoe beat. 57.8 cubic feet versus the Tahoe's 51.7. So still a lot more room. And that third row actually has more leg room on the Traverse than the Tahoe does. Finally, this is really where it counts. With all those seats down, how much room do you have? Traverse, 98.2 cubic feet, almost 100 cubic feet all the way up there, all the way back. Tahoe, take your guesses, write them down, and it's 94.7. So almost 5 cubic feet more to go with a Traverse than a Tahoe. I was really surprised by these numbers. All right, so there you have it. It's the 2020 Traverse all-wheel drive LS trim. Make sure you check out my channel for other videos on the higher trim levels. Also some 2019 versus 2020 comparisons on what has changed between the two. If you are thinking about a Traverse, also considering a Tahoe, or thinking about Tahoe and maybe considering a Traverse, go to your local dealership, drive them both. I'm sure your salesperson will be glad to show you what's the difference and let you drive them both so you can make an educated decision. If you live in Northeast Ohio, I'd love to help you find your next vehicle, whether it's new or used. Be glad to help you here at Spitzer Chevrolet in Amherst, Ohio. You can give me a call at 440-988-4444. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, share this video. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'm always glad to try to help you guys as best I can. Be safe and have fun out there.